We are on scene tonight with police in Red Bluff, California, showing the dangers that officers face every day. A woman called 911 saying her ex-boyfriend, Carlos Villalobos, was trying to break into her home. He left before officers got there. Then he went to work, said he was sick, and left. He then returns to the home where the woman's current boyfriend confronts him, which could be heard during another 911 call.
Someone is stalking me, and they're at my back door right now.
Do you know who it is?
Yes, my ex-boyfriend.
A man was heard in the background yelling, "Put that knife down," and the woman hung up abruptly. Officers rushed to the home, caught the suspect trying to still get into the house.
Drop the gun!
Officer Jeffrey Maybury heard a gunshot and a window shattering. Seconds after he arrived, he fired, then took cover behind his vehicle. The whole time, he and the sergeant at the scene also, remember, had to keep neighbors safe.
11:99, shots fired.
Get in the house, close the door. Get in the house, close the door.
11:99, shots fired.
Get in! Get down!
Officers-
Go away!
Officers could not see the suspect. They called for backup, and then they moved toward the home.
Don't move, dude. They're approaching.
Behind this soul. We got him. His hands are up, guns are at his feet.
Suspect was on the ground with his hands in the air, shotgun out of reach. He was hospitalized for non-life-threatening injuries. When taken to jail, suspect was charged multiple felonies, including attempted murder, assault with a firearm on an officer, stalking, burglary. The shooting remains under investigation. Joining me now is Sheriff Mike Chitwood of Volusia County, Florida. Sheriff, thanks for coming back on the show. We appreciate it. All right, so we hear there the frightening 911 call, but for the officer who first arrives at that scene, right, the first thing he hears is shattered window and a gunshot.
Yeah, and thank God he probably was armed with all the information from the 4 a.m. call the first time she called. So when those officers arrived, they were on the tips of their toes thinking this is going to be really violent.
So the officers, they hear the gunshot in a second. I want to just watch that moment one more time.
Drop the gun!
Now, the suspect was hit. Officers didn't know that at the time. They call for backup before they advance to arrest him. Talk to us about the strategy there.
Well, first of all, Dan, as you could hear, there's a distinct difference between the officer's gunfire and the shotgun. So you know that he fired. So now they have to make a critical decision. And Police Officer Maybury and Sergeant Bowen, they went above and beyond. They're like, we got to make a maneuver here. We have people inside of this house. We know this guy's come there for a reason. That is to kill his ex-girlfriend. Now we have to tactically move up there, expose ourselves, have the neighbors, because everybody's running out with their cell phone camera, stay inside and make that approach, not knowing what threat is against us.
Right. Now, obviously, we don't know if he was there necessarily to kill or to hurt or whatever the case may be. But officers also had to tell neighbors. Again, that's one of the things that people forget, is the multiple things that officers have to do at this kind of scene. Yes, they have a suspect, but they also have all these other people around who they have to make sure stay away.
Dan, I go out on all of our early morning search warrants. We make announcements, stay inside the house, Volusia County Sheriff's Office, we're serving a warrant, and it seems to attract them like flies to honey. They want to come out with their cell phones, not realizing you could be killed. You're endangering the lives of the police officers, even the folks where we're serving the warrant at. And now you're juggling all of these things, and you're asked to make these decisions based on, you know, real-time knowledge, which isn't always right.
Yep. All right. The good news is, Sheriff Chitwood, that the guy gave up at the end, which certainly was a relief, I'm sure, to the officers involved. Thanks a lot for coming back on the program. We appreciate it.
Dan, can I just say to you, in the last 8 days, we have had 5 police officers killed in 4 separate incidents, 3 in Missouri, 1 in Virginia, and 1 in Washington State. And the overwhelming majority are responding to disturbance calls. This is one of the most dangerous things that we do, and may God bless their families and somehow find peace for them.
And Sheriff, I'll tell you that, as you probably know, we are one of the only, if not the only show that focuses on these kinds of issues on a regular basis. So we talk about the increase in the number of police officers who have been shot in the line of duty this year. We also have a segment tomorrow, which we're going to do, about how many officers are quitting, why they're leaving the force. And that is a real danger to the quality of law enforcement in this country. These are important issues. I appreciate you bringing it up, and it's certainly not something that we are going to ignore. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.